Throughout history, some people don't just die, they vanish. No goodbyes, no bodies, just a trail of unanswered questions. These disappearances blur the line between history and true crime, fueling decades of theories, rumors, and desperate searches. From explorers swallowed by the wild, to mobsters who vanished in plain sight, these mysteries remain unsolved, and some may never be answered. This is Deca Facts, and today we're counting down 10 historical figures who disappeared without a trace. Don't miss the last entry, a disappearance so mysterious that it still confounds investigators and historians to this day. 10. Solomon Northup. Best known as the author of 12 Years a Slave, Solomon Northup lived a remarkable life. After being kidnapped into slavery for 12 years, he regained his freedom and became a vocal abolitionist. But around 1857, Northup vanished completely from the historical record. No obituary, no grave, no confirmed sightings. Some historians believe he may have been kidnapped again, while others think he lived quietly under a new identity. No searches have ever located evidence of his final years. His disappearance remains an eerie footnote to an otherwise extraordinary life. 9. The Alcatraz Escapees. In 1962, Frank Morris and brothers Clarence and John Anglin pulled off one of the most famous prison escapes in U.S. history. They slipped out of their cells at Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary, built a raft out of raincoats, and disappeared into the San Francisco Bay. The FBI concluded in 1979 that the men likely drowned, but many believe they survived. In 2013, a letter surfaced claiming one of the Anglin brothers was still alive. While the FBI officially closed its investigation, U.S. Marshals still keep the case open, making this escape one of the most debated disappearances in American history. 8. Andrew Sandy Irvine. In 1924, mountaineer George Mallory and his climbing partner Andrew Irvine set out to conquer Mount Everest, decades before it was officially summited. They were last seen just a few hundred meters from the peak, before vanishing into the mist. Mallory's body was only discovered in 1999, but Irvine has never been found, and no one knows if the pair reached the summit before dying. Searches for Irvine's body continue even today, as climbers still scour Everest's slopes in hopes of solving one of mountaineering's greatest mysteries. 7. Michael Rockefeller. Heir to the Rockefeller fortune, Michael disappeared in 1961 while on an expedition in Papua New Guinea. After his canoe capsized, he tried swimming to shore and was never seen again. Official searches lasted for weeks but ended without answers. While the government ruled him drowned, rumors persist that he may have been killed by local tribes. In 2014, fresh research reignited speculation, but no concrete proof has ever surfaced. His disappearance remains one of the most chilling in modern history. 6. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. The beloved author of The Little Prince disappeared in 1944 while flying a reconnaissance mission for the French Air Force during World War II. For decades, his fate was unknown, fueling endless speculation. In 1998, a fisherman found his silver identity bracelet off the coast of Marseille. And in 2000, parts of his plane were recovered from the Mediterranean seabed. Yet his body was never found, and mystery still clouds his final moments. Official searches have long since ended, leaving fans to wonder what really happened. 5. Percy Fawcett. The British explorer. Percy Fawcett set out in 1925 to find a fabled lost city he called Z deep in the Amazon rainforest. He, his son, and their companion vanished without a trace. Massive searches in the following years only claimed more lives, as dozens of rescuers themselves disappeared or were killed. As late as the 1950s, rumors circulated that Fawcett had been killed by hostile tribes, but his body has never been recovered. Searches for him have long since been abandoned, cementing his legend as one of exploration's greatest mysteries. 4. Jean Spangler. In 1949, aspiring Hollywood actress Jean Spangler disappeared in Los Angeles after telling family she was meeting someone at the park. Her purse was found 2 days later with a cryptic note suggesting she was involved in a dangerous affair. Despite high-profile media coverage and possible ties to the mob, Spangler's body was never discovered. Official investigations went cold in the 1950s, and she remains one of Hollywood's darkest mysteries. 3. Jimmy Hoffa. Few disappearances captured public imagination like that of Jimmy Hoffa. The powerful union leader and mob-connected figure vanished in 1975 after a meeting at a Michigan diner. For decades, the FBI and independent investigators have scoured fields, warehouses, and even football stadiums for his remains. The most recent search took place in 2021, but once again turned up nothing. Hoffa's fate continues to haunt American true crime history. 2. D.B. Cooper. In 1971, an unidentified man known as D.B. Cooper hijacked a Northwest Orient Airlines flight, demanded $200,000 in ransom, and parachuted into the night sky over Washington state, never to be seen again. The FBI pursued one of the longest and most exhaustive investigations in U.S. history, interviewing thousands of suspects. The last official attempt to locate him ended in 2016 when the FBI finally closed the case. To this day, Cooper's identity and fate remain the ultimate aviation mystery. 1. Amelia Earhart. The most famous disappearance in history belongs to aviation pioneer Amelia Earhart. In 1937, while attempting to circumnavigate the globe, she and her navigator Fred Noonan vanished over the Pacific. Massive search operations were launched, but no definitive wreckage was ever found. Over the decades, theories have ranged from crashing at sea to surviving on a remote island. As recently as 2024, new sonar images claim to show what might be her plane, but conclusive proof has never emerged. Earhart's disappearance remains history's most enduring unsolved mystery. These stories remind us that sometimes, history doesn't provide neat endings. From daring adventurers to powerful leaders, even the most famous people can vanish without a trace. Which of these mysteries fascinates you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Deca Facts for more incredible history countdowns. See you in the next countdown.